in a game that you just saw on CSI SportsNet, your home, and only home, by the way, for CSI Sports. Only way to really follow CSI Sports. If you're not watching CSI SportsNet, you're not following CSI Sports. But CSI men's basketball was down 17 points today to St. Joseph's College of Brooklyn. They end up winning this game by 5, 92-87, keyed by a huge Eden Broderick forcing of a turnover for St. Joseph's. Vincent DeCunto with a huge three. Frankie Schettino with a huge steal and a layup. Will Fonseca got the layup to put CSI ahead 89-87. And Michael Tate with a huge rebound off of a missed free throw by St. Joseph's. He goes, ices both, hits them 92-87. CSI wins. I mean, this was just an incredible team victory. They were down by 8 at halftime, but it just felt like they were down by 28. And I was even on the broadcast questioning, hey, does CSI even want to be here? I know it's a non-conference game, but do they want to be? Are they going to show up today? And they cut it to a 9, cut it to an 11, but St. Joseph's comes back. St. Joseph's comes back. And all those things that I just mentioned before really keyed this victory for CSI. And it's an amazing win. They improved their winning streak to 6. They run their record up to 13-5 overall. And this is a team that not a lot of people were giving much love to. I know on my show, I predicted them to go 16-9 overall and about 10-6 in the CUNY. And people laughed at me. Not because I was under-picking them, I was over-picking them. They could have won 16 games. Chris, they lost Myers, they lost Blucci, they lost Dillon, they lost King, they lost Van Manen. How can you say they're going to win 16 games? And they're going to go 10-6 in the conference? You got to look at York and Brooklyn and Baruch and all these guys. Well, yeah, they lost to Baruch. They've beaten York, they've beaten Brooklyn. And they have nothing but conference games on the way. As they're 7-2, by the way, in conference. That's what matters. They're third overall. Baruch is 8-0. Brooklyn's 7-2. CSI is 7-2, and they're overall 13-5. Listen, this is a fun basketball team to watch, and you can question if they have stuff to work on, and they do. Listen, CSI has had a big problem the last couple of years, even when they were winning championships, nailing free throws. And listen, the players will be the first to say it. Yeah, we don't hit our free throws good, or we don't hit our free throws enough. That's the safe way to say it. They don't hit enough free throws. They don't make enough points with the clock stopped. But you know what? You cannot question the toughness, the intensity of this team. I mean, they were dead. They were absolutely dead. And they came back, they won this thing, and that was a huge team win. And let me tell you something. Behind me in the broadcast booth today was some rabid St. Joseph's fans, and they were just on CSI the whole game. The guy with the sign and the big head, they were just talking the whole game. The whole right side was St. Joseph's, but then CSI woke up, and those people died out. And I've been talking about that. As I said, CSI, the Dolphin Tank, it can't let it be a home game for the opposing teams. And I've questioned the passion of the fans that come to the games. Well, you know what? They've stepped up the last couple of home games for CSI. And my voice is still recovering from this game. I mean, this was an unbelievable game. One of the greatest comebacks in CSI basketball history. Down 17 in the second half. They win this game by 5. For St. Joseph's, we had leading the way for them, Michael Megafu and Matt O'Neal, 25 points each. You know, Matt O'Neal was really towards the end, dribbling the ball, killing clock, and then with about 8-7 seconds left in the shot clock, passes it off to Megafu. He hits it down low. It was working. The only problem was towards the end, Megafu was turning the ball over a lot. 3 big turnovers by Megafu. He passed the ball to nobody. Basically threw it to the cheerleaders. I mean, I know they're hot, but you can't be throwing the basketball to them. Matt O'Neal was another one. You know, that was good when you were up by 15, you were up by 17, you were up by 11, you were up by 12. You were up by 4 points with 4 minutes to go. Dribbling the ball and killing clock and then not getting a good shot off is that's not what you want right there. So I thought St. Joseph's kind of stuck with their game plan, but you know what? That was good when you were up by 17 points. When you're up by 4 points, 2 points, and CSI's come back, takes the lead off of you, you got to change up your thinking there. So I thought CSI outcoached them, they out-fundamentaled them for the last couple minutes of the ball game, because throughout the whole game, St. Joseph's was running the gun, and they were showing CSI the proper fundamentals. They were out-fundamentaling the Dolphins. But the last couple minutes in crunch time, CSI did what they had to do. For CSI, they were led the way by Will Fonseca. He had 32 points. 32 points for Fonseca. He started hot in this game. Cooled off a little bit, but Fonseca. Prime time Will Fonseca. showed up when it mattered. And he gets the layup, the go-ahead layup to win this game, 92-87. Shatino had 22 points. Eden Brachik had 17 points. He had 4 3-pointers. Brachik is a guy that when he gets that shot going, he has a great outside shot. I love Brachik's outside shot. And when he can get that going, he's an animal. He had 4 of them today. And listen, that was the difference. I mean, if he misses 2, they lose this game. They won by 5. So that was a big thing by Brachik. Vincent DeCunto had 3 points. 3 points. You want to know how big those 3 points were? His three-pointer kind of ignited this whole thing and said, you know what? We're going to win this thing. And when he hits the three-pointer to make CSI down by 2, in my head, we go to a break, me and Mike, and I say, you know what? Mike, I think they're going to win this ball game. And they pulled it out. It was a huge three-pointer by DeCunto. Delahanty had 6 points. He sat much of the second half, if not all the second half. He only played 19 minutes in the first half. And he sat, I don't know what was going on there, whether it was an injury or a coach's decision, but Delahanty was on the floor for the second half. And that's another key thing. You don't have your big man on the floor and you still overcome a 17-point deficit and win this thing. That's huge. Marie hit a big three-pointer. Gregory Civitelli hit a big three-pointer. So a lot of big three-pointers made by some key people, and that was their only points. Marie today, he had 3 points. That was a three-pointer. Civiletti, 3 points. That was a three-pointer. DeCunto, 3 points. Michael Tate coming into this ball game, he had 5 points, a little bit quiet 5 points, but Tate's no more for his defense and forcing the turnovers with that big frame of his, and he did just an incredible job today, just an incredible job. In the paint, CSI 44-34, that was a lot of Fonseca down low in the first half, inside. He was killing the Bears. Off of turnovers, this was another huge thing. CSI 26-10. I mean, all those Megafu errant passes and the steal. That was a huge steal, by the way, from Frankie Shatino stealing the ball from Matt O'Neal. And that was big. That made it a 4-point game. That was absolutely huge. And they won that category. Second chance points, well, St. Joe's won that, 14-7. Fast break points, 12-4. The bench, 87-14 is not the correct thing. I'd say maybe the bench outscored them 27-14, 87-14. The stat crew's got to get their act going a little bit. That's not the correct. That's not the right stat at all. But CSI outscoring St. Joe's 52-39 in the second half. They finished 47.8% from the land of the three, 45.5% from the charity stripe, and they shot 54.3%, as they were really not doing well at all. And they come back, they win this thing, and it's a huge win. It's a huge win because, you know what, now you're on to John Jay. You got the non-conference schedule out of the way, and they did pretty good with these non-conference games. A lot of good, tough competition. St. Joseph's is no schluff. They came in 12-6, had won 3 in a row. That's a good basketball team. CSI beat them, they did their part. So now you got the non-conference out of the way. You're 13-5 overall, and now it's nothing. 7 games left and nothing but conference games. And if you ask me, can CSI win the CUNY Conference, the regular season, and go into the CUNYAC playoffs as the #1 seed? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. If you ask me today, is CSI a lock to host a CUNYAC playoff game? Absolutely. I'm telling you, absolutely. They're 7-2. They're third in the conference. You have to be the 4th seed or higher to host a conference game. They will. They will host a CUNYAC playoff game, no doubt in my mind. Will they be the first place team? Come back to me in about a week and a half. Then I can give you a good answer. But there's no reason to think that they can't. There's no reason to think that they can't. Baruch's 8-0. Yeah, but you know what? They got to play Baruch again. And the last time that they played Baruch, that ended a little bit chippy. Taking the three-pointer Baruch did, up by 10 with about a minute left. So who knows? Who knows what we're going to see? But CSI improves today to 13-5 overall. They win their 6th consecutive basketball game, 92-87 over St. Joseph's of Brooklyn. And Fonseca leads the way with 32 points. Shatino with 22. And Eden Brachik, Vince DeCunto, major keys in this victory today for CSI. I'm Chris Soriano, and me and Mike Babusky will have the call for you on Wednesday. Women start at 5:15 pregame. Men right after that, a CUNYAC Conference doubleheader versus John Jay on your home, your only home for CSI Sports. You can't find CSI Sports anywhere else, or at least good coverage of it. You got SportsNet, CSI SportsNet on CSIDolphins.com.